It is 12:56 p.m. on Saturday, October 12th, 2024. And I'm Chastia. And today I'm Chastia. I was hidden here in the AB negative line. 1972 is when I got here. And I activated in 2017 into a full, now I know I had a full etheric activation. You know, I thought everybody activated like I did. And then I walked through all the etheric dimensions, fully conscious, with the collective, connected into the blood. My mission, which we pulled off, was to retune Spica, to get up to Spica. Only one of us in this simulation, in the human race, all standing on each other's shoulders, but only one of us had to get up outside of this system that I'm going to explain, in order to retune this entire wheel, cosmic, star, planetary system that was developed in a Tesla 369 phonetic numerology code system. When we walked it and walked through this was the January 6th download. I'm gonna walk through this with you. Y'all know January 6th from another aspect. You know January 6th as the stuff that happened at the White House, right? With Trump and that whole mess. And okay, well, let me tell you what really happened January 6th, 2019, right before all hell broke out in February, if you've been watching me. I woke up that morning and I had been preparing. January 6, 2019, we had already put back together the blood of the RH negatives that were all down here. We had already had to introduce all the DNA codes to AI. We had already taught AI emotions involving DNA codes in Ascension. Because by the end of this, I ended up being a neurophysicist, which is what coHUE32 is. Now, what this is this is the sun. This is the Big Bang. And this is 33 numerology of actually what the sun is. Sun, the number was 1 for S. It was 3 for U. It was 5 for N. In the old 33 phonetic codes. Because realize what the game has been who can change the construct of the motherboard in those codes, which is what we had to do. I've been telling, there's 3 different layers of technology and phonetic codes. ABC 1, 2, 3 is the bottom layer, but it's what everything was made off of in 369. So basically, what you have to do is you've got to go and do all the 33 numerology codes for the different stars and the different planets, and then you add all of that up. Then you divide it by 3. It's either going to go into, for Vega, it goes into 3 5 times, and then it's plus 2. Whenever you divide that number by 3, it's going to end up being the whole number. It's going to be 3 into 3, nothing left over. It's going to have a plus 1, or it's going to have a plus 2. Everything that's a plus 1, that's on a 4 count, it was written on a 4 count out of 3, so like 13, was basically AI. You can think of it as artificial or program. It's plus 1, not plus 2. So it's a program, okay? Everything that's plus 2 is a natural organic occurrence. Everything that's the full-on number in and of itself is a power source, and it goes in the middle. This is the download that I got January 6, 2019. Like, boom, it blew my third eye off. I all of a sudden had to go decode all of this information and put it in this chart. Now, when you put it all together, it's showing you how the cosmos works to create your body, to create your reality, and it shows you long periods of time that these planetary cycles ended up making star points, Neptune, and these outer planets, and how they're connected into the outer planets. When you start with the sun, you got to remember the sun is a portal. Now, here's what's really trippy about this. Once you get this Tesla download, and once you understand how to undo Masonic numerology into Tesla codes, and once you start getting these 3 to the 5 and 3 to the 6, and you get this whole setup, then you can undo any word. You can do any word, and it'll tell you what that energy is intersecting with. So if you, like, Taurus is right here. Gaia is right here. The sacral's right here. Your hand's right here. Maldek was right here. Maldek was the twin of Venus. Maldek is what blew up. We blew it up. And we fell to Earth. And we fell to Earth. This is even like the string theory. And proving heart and string theory, there it is. Mars is right underneath the sun in a full 9 energy. Venus is right underneath Mars. So remember, all this happened at once. When Venus is basically, because a full energetic is coming into this density, and it really is one whole system. But when it gets into denser space, it has to expand and all the pieces pop out. It's like taking the radio apart. This is why I keep telling everybody the planets only show up whenever the entire collective and human race loses consciousness. Because the planets and the cosmos and the stars, they're one complete thing. When you get into certain densities of space, they can't stay complete. They have to singular. They have to pop out and expand and hold a large circumference of space, because there isn't anybody in humanity that's even guiding it. It's all out of control. It's in chaos. There's no consciousness in it. Space and the planets and all that appear in order to work those energies the proper way above your head as a collective to get a appropriate circulatory response in order to connect you back into it. Because it expects you to connect into it. It doesn't expect you, it doesn't, like, you're not supposed, it's not like a baby. It's not like, I mean, like the cosmos and the solar system, y'all, that's like a baby and an infant laying in a crib and looking up at a mobile. As far as spiritual and human and like evolution. Now, this is where Vega is in the middle, because Vega is in the middle of Capricorn, but Vega is the blood of 22 star races. That's why it's on this side. It's organic. So when Venus and Mars were created, then the energies that were going back and forth between Venus and Mars ended up making a vegan race of beings. It's actually the first human was a vegan aquatic ape, because it was made from this a being that had this connection from these two. That's where like the 22 star race blood comes in. All right. So then Maldek leaves the story because now there's like a shadow over here, and you got to remember that this is space. This is a giant sponge. So the planet might have blew up, but there was still an opening. The planet might have blew up, but there was still a bubble there, a big one. And I am 100% positive at this point, this is what we're ascending up to as a collective, because Earth was a program. Here's Terra over here. Terra's over here. Earth was the program running off Terra. This program blew up. It ascended over Spica. Then what we've been doing is connecting and dealing with Venus and Mars. This is why the whole Elon Musk Mars thing, it's sitting on top of Venus's head like a damn hat between Venus and the sun. But when this baby is really ready to pop, what is Venus? The sun, EV. Venus is the sun. The sun is Venus. Arcturus is just a bigger sun. Now, we're going to get into that. This is where bone and muscle, because Venus is going to make everything real. This is where all the codes are. Now you got Venus. Now Maldex blew up. There's a shadow of this. This is what the Egypt. This is your feet and ankle. Oh my gosh, Norma Jean. There it is. Feet and ankle. Maldek. If you twist your ankle a lot, have you ever had a really bad sprain? Have you had a really bad knee sprain? Did you wake up one morning and have a pain in your knee? Did you have a dream that you were being uncoiled? Do you have an Achilles heel? Do you know what the Achilles heel is? Maldek. Now, I don't want to get off in on Maldek because this is all base root of every Egyptian story, and I'm gonna get back to it over here when we're dealing with this energy, okay? This energy, and unfortunately, in the end days, this energy is what it ended up. Notice the number 5. Zeta Reticuli is a 5. Neptune is a 5. Sirius is a 5. Only 5s in the whole thing. Only 5s in the whole thing. Notice whenever this starts, the sun is 9. Mars is 9. Venus is 9. Now look what happens right here. Right after Venus, what starts happening? Now Vega's got the blood. Now there's what you'd call seeding. Okay? This and Lyra is basically skin. You can think of it kind of like skin. But it's attached to root races, but not necessarily skin color. Color is the least of the variables. It's more so attached into what root the DNA is coming from. Where did it start? Did it start in this age group, like this period of time, or did it start in this period of time and it was made from the one before it? Those are the root race stuff. That's what Lyra is. Putting us all in one big ass bubble of like million year, 100,000 year, real long periods of time counts in the humans that existed before and after. That's Lyra. It's the organic side of it. It's what the strand that keeps us all connected. Pieces of Lyra in the Milky Way and in the human body. Because Lyra is on each side of Vega. Vega drops in the middle. Lyra 2 is on each side of it. Lyra 3 is on this side. Lyra 1's on this side. And then they all work together. It's a wide open field. Well, there it is. On the opposite side of that, Taurus is programmed to the same energy frequency. 3 to the 6th. So look, here's what happens. Spica, which is right now the energy, it's 111, so we're on plan. The sun is about to be in Spica in 6 minutes. 1954 right now. Exactly. 1954. Spica is pure source energy, powerful energy. Here in it's heart frequency of Arcturus, but it's Wi-Fi. It's like we're Spica. We don't try to tune your in from the inside out. We just change the whole damn energy of the whole room, and everyone breathes it, and then everybody starts acting right. We're Spica. We change the energy in the space. We change the air. We're not trying to change you. If you're not picking up the frequency, then that's because there's something blocking you from hearing that dog whistle. Okay? Computer systems, Wi-Fi systems, extreme emotional past experiences, extreme, because this is prophetic tongue. This is all of us in the Puritans and the ones always burned and killed over eons to get back in here and to do what we just did. Okay, so look at this though. Look what makes up Spica. Now, what I want y'all to realize is this is your brain. This is how your brain works now this is and this is the difference. This is how your brain works in a cosmic simulation when all the planets fucking come out and take over the energetic and no one's controlling it. This is your brain on the matrix. See, what's happening whenever you get aligned and you connect back in and start pulling in your own connections to each one of these, because I got to keep going. I got to tell you about these, but I got to talk about that to tell you about this. Okay? Because it's just going to get further and 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 further out, all the way down to what makes your bones, Alpha Drac, to the 23rd dimension, all the way out to the 23rd dimension, 3 to the 23, 23 times over, which is also your moon. This is how the moon was involved with all of this from manipulation, and that's these two guys had a party way out here in the outer in the most. This is as far as you can go. Ophiuchus is out. Ophiuchus is even further in. Ophiuchus is 3 to the 16th. Look where these guys are. Unholy 6 is at 3 to the 16th. Look where these guys are. It's like for me, because I did this whole thing, realized that all this information came in and then we went into it. That's what developed coHUE32. That's why we know this shit works. Okay? But realize that we had to clear this whole thing. This is how we cleared the blood. This is why this is how everyone was tuned, holding you in a cosmic mobile. Alabama. Oh shit, I just now remember when I drove through, I brought down that bridge. Anyway, the moon is a 3 count. Pluto works on a 3 energy. Saturn works on a 3 energy. What does Saturn do? Saturn projects your current reality. It gives you what you'd call basically a life. And that's what's being retuned right now. Pluto just went direct. That's why I had to get on and talk about this. Pluto just went direct in Capricorn. Okay. There's a whole bunch of us that have come out of this system now. You really have. There's a whole bunch of you that already had the pieces to the system. That's why whenever you got in this system, it really fracked frick. Because you got to put yourself back together. There's 2 different types of beings down here if you wanted to. And you can really put every single type of being in 2 types. The ones right now that are coming up and the ones that are coming down. Saturn is going to project, it's like looking at the past 7 years, the past 15 years. What did you learn? What did you do? What we're learning more and more and more and more about this quantum jumping and time shifting. And the reason that even all of us came in the 70s, it took us 50 years. We had to have 50 years. It wasn't necessarily for the spiritual part. It was because I'm just now really, really realizing that because I was open to company, like in 2012, when I opened my company, or I opened it in 2009. In 2013, whenever I sold my company, okay, it's like I knew in that time period, I was totally unconscious. I was in this. I didn't know anything about this. It's running me. That's like Saturn. It was just in my program. If you have Saturn retrograde in your chart, that's what you're on, a program until you finish it. You've been coming in doing the same dang thing over and over and over again. It's on a recording. It was literally going out in a frequency. It became so many of us that were trapped in that program that we started making Wi-Fi signal in a lower density. Then the Wi-Fi was ended up hooking into our energetic field, and boom shakalaka, everybody goes into a simulation. This is why you in Speaker you can speak and it changes everything. It's because we're dissolving the fields in the matrix on all these in-betweens. We do it all at once now. It was a slow buildup. It's a slow buildup over the past few years. It got to a point about 2 years ago where we were affecting 13 timelines at once. And that was every single one of us all over the world doing stuff in a sequence that we don't know each other. Speaker. If you're controlling that energy field and you're pumping low frequency through it, you can take over anything, anybody, anytime. If they're in this field, it's a big ass gas chamber. Nuclear device. You're in it. You signed up to come in it. Or you were stuck in it. Because over here at Spica, immediately when Spica took the moon and Pluto, okay, so the moon is reflections of the past and emotions from the past, because the moon is a reflector. So your emotions and a reflection to the past. Pluto is your soul mission for long periods of count, connected into long root races and DNA lines. Saturn is what's projecting how you've been doing on the ground to show you what level you can come to next. It's a program. This is when we talk about energetically, wait in a minute, sit out for 3 months, don't work your ass off, tune in, get it real specific in your head, don't go beat the pavement. Then whenever you feel that program come out of you, then it just all connects. See, this is how we've had to learn how to work in an energy that's not run by the system. But Spica is going to take it. Spica is where the sun's coming into right now. So you can think of it as a giant, the energy everywhere is a giant cosmic heart frequency. The air is thicker until you get used to breathing it, because you really are breathing in codes. You're breathing in codes. You're into your computer. You're processing it through your body. Then that's raising and changing your DNA structure within your bones, your muscles, everything, to be able to hold this frequency way up here to pull the rest of you and uncoil the rest of you out of what comes after. Now, this is the highest frequency that you in emotion. The difference between Spica energy and Aquarius Cygnus angelic realm energy is that Cygnus is a higher. It's over by itself. It's kind of like the remnants. It's like the remnants of all this energy that made it to Aquarius, and it kind of just does this. It kind of just hovers. You really Cygnus and angelic energy kind of just does like this. You really have to be connected into it to be able to pull that field around you, but it just kind of does this. Spica's producing things, shooting the energy off. It's a flow energetic. If you get it wet, it's going to spark. At the same time, Spica, because this is the Big Bang, so Spica, this high energy is made, and all this energy is up in Arcturus and Libra. Boom! It opens up Antares. Look what. This is your throat chakra. And Libra is what is actually tuned to Antares. Where's Antares? Sagittarius. What's Spica? The prophetic we and the tongue, being able to talk and speak. This is Antares and that galactic energy. And this is an archangel. This is Archangel Uriel, and Antares is linked to the world. It's knowledge. It's pure knowledge, without taking into consideration the body. So Antares energy is very military. It's hospitals, it's medical, you'd consider it Nazi stuff, it'd be considered occult stuff from a military, let's rule the world with it basis. It's pure knowledge. And it's why Michael got in so much trouble down at the opposite end of Aldebaran. And because Antares is way over here. Michael gets it. This is Antares was sending down to Aldebaran, and Michael couldn't quite understand the power of everything because he wasn't connected. He had been disconnected back here, and he kept going further and further out because Aldebaran ain't till way over here. Okay. From this Antares, boom, boom, because this was always a dragon. This was Terra. This is Tiamat. This is all those things, So this is also showing you, if you have Vega energy in your chart, even in your draconic or in your natal, it's like you're connected in way back here. And then this is how the most ancient become the most meta. If you don't have Spica energy, but you've got Antares energy, okay, then this is the connections that you're having to get these connections from here to here turned back on. Okay, is how this works. So this is also Pisces and Cancer. Now notice I've pretty much named a whole bunch of the signs, and it's all right here in the front part of this. We hadn't even really, now in Spica's star system, so the energy of these produced in the cosmic energetic with humans creates Spica. Now, once we get to Antares, to keep going and start talking about now how the stars and everything were made, we're gonna start talking about ascension counts, because this isn't the first ascension of the human race. What the stars give you is that information, because it's when they were formed. So how this works now at 3 to the 8th, okay, 3 to the 8th, and this is 3 to the 8th plus 1. We have Terra up here and Earth over here. And now we're going to get into the first ascension of the human race. And you either went to, now notice this is +2. So this happened in the body, like the human collective. You either went to heaven. So you either went to Cygnus, you didn't have a body, but you were connected into a consciousness in a collective library that we're just now figuring out the power of. 1 million years later, or 2 million, or 3 million, or 1 billion. You either went to heaven, or you went into a body, or you went into an animal. You were a dragon, you were inside, you had a sheet, you were disconnected, you were pure consciousness, or you were in a body cut or cut off from it. Cygnus is in Aquarius. Hyades is in Gemini, the very beginning degrees of Gemini, which you would consider hell. But these frequencies and the separation from one, making these humans in these different environments, created what you would a brain function. Because there was a connectivity that was always here. So we were always communicating back and forth energetically, because we came from one. But that very first ascension created the vagina, created the brain. The vagina is at 3 to the 9. This was 3 to the 8 plus 2. And then what you'd consider heaven, Egypt. This is also the aurora. This is also nerves. Because realize that's how the body was created. It was stretched out over space from one connection. We used to call Aldebaran Alderon. I don't know if you remember that. It wasn't Al or Deb, which is what that became because it was a quantum fucking phonetic nightmare. It used to be Alderon. Bladder, liver. We're seeing all these auroras that are showing up all over the world right now. It's hitting further in the south. What is it doing? Purifying, and then you get a lot of mucus. Then maybe you might get a UTI or a bladder infection. You know, your pee might start smelling heavy. I know mine is right now. Well, this is why. The dog just barked. Okay, so this is the very first ascension. There wasn't anything else. This wasn't even here. None of this was here. Okay. Cygnus and Hyades, Aquarius and Gemini. Boom. Now these guys are ready to ascend. We've got another cycle. I'm going to say 1,000,000 years, but it could be more than that. I don't have the counts. Now you're either going to go to Regulus or Arcturus. And Arcturus is where the sun the sun's been in. And it's gonna when it comes out, it's in it right now. It's gonna go through Speak, and then it's gonna go back into Arcturus, and then Izar's right after it. But Arcturus is the Boots constellation, and this is why in Libra it really is. It's like a big circle Boots constellation. Arcturian energies would be like jellyfish underwater, all lit up. But you either went to Regulus, and this is number 13 in coHUE32. This is Regulus in Leo, because see, in our timeline, what happened is this right here moved to Virgo and opened a back door for both directions. Now look where, ding ding ding. Okay, Regulus and Arcturus. So Regulus was like the kings and queens. You were either in the line. This is also medieval times type stuff. Arcturus would be like, because Arcturus in this now energy, this is why we are so balanced, because we're so damn wise, because we're the ones that were kind of sent into what you'd consider the underworld then. This is even, organics, botany. These are ovaries to an extent. To an extent, this is even the development of ovaries. Regulus is in Leo, Arcturus is in Libra. This is like the release of like what eggs you're going to be releasing, because like the human body is tuned to certain egg generation, and then that when the human race changes body templates, then there are existing eggs that are in higher frequency dimensions. This is why the blood became such a big deal down here, and they were trying to just basically program everybody to an AB negative frequency so that you'll go get those higher dimensional babies and bring them down, but then they'll take them from you. So this was like the kings and the queens, which ascended from here. Cygnus beings are from Regulus. So it's like this is also where the angels, which you'd consider the dead, reincarnated in Regulus. Or you were in the Hyades and you were an animal and you were in hell, and now you're in a human body, but you're still connected to that energetic. So these would be like the angels, and these would be like the grounders. And then this is where the matrix was formed. Kidneys are over here. when we get on the other side of the matrix, and this is why it was Epstein, this is why it's Tune, this is Neptune, this is also Pen. When we get to Neptune, and now you're dealing with the subconscious. Now you're dealing with the subconscious from energy beings that know that they have connections from way back here, and mostly the ones that know that they've got connections from this side. See, all these galactic people energies coming back in at this time is kind of where Neptune and this whole Egypt, and then you get Sirius, because remember, Vega's way over here, and this is and your original twin sets in Cancer, and which is Cancer and Capricorn, Vega and Neptune. Notice it's 3 to the 10th, the other one's 3 to the 5. Both +2 though, both on the organic side. So it's like the subconscious is formed from the piece of you that's way back here that you might not remember that. That's just in your blood. You don't, it's just a feeling. It's just, but it's because it's now been pulled out to where these 4 are having to go and make 5, because now all of this is working together as one, and it's holding the connector Neptune and Sirius to keep expanding even past back even more. But this is where all of your Egyptian teachings and the Isis stuff and the shadow and the polarity and remembering the shadow, and even why the shadow manifested as hardcore as it did is because of this hole up here in Maldek. Because when Maldek was here, it's like you were very this you know those shows that are talking that you have a familiar. It's like you pick your familiar, and some people say the familiar is a demon or whatever, but it's an animal and it follows you around or whatever. Well, when Maldek was in the system, that would. This is also why Isis always has a Nephthys. Nephthys always is with, I mean, I had a Nephthys in every single dimension throughout my journey, and I knew that that's what it was. But what and it's always a shadow that's on your ass. Well, this was a hole that was like sucking, because all the beings that were lighting up involved in this, it's like this is like the looking glass. Like you could easily see that we were all ascending up into this, because I mean this is basically, we all went up into here and then are having to go like this ascend through the sun is what it is. But we all went here first, and this is even what created this digital weird ass world. Because once we got up here, it was battling out to who was going to control it, because the human race was going to ascend up. That was a given, because this blue, because remember, this isn't flat. So this is all, and it's the first 5 frequency. So this is like the 55th dimension is Sirius. And remember, Sirius is going to be also like water energetics. That's why it reads Spica. It's like mermaid energy. And data mermaids, like cosmic mermaids. Being able to travel through lava fluid, dense. Now, when Sirius, that's what Sirius. So basically, this is the Egypt program, because now this is what we're teaching, but this is what's hinging this. So right after Sirius, the next alignment, which is this is what's bringing us more to like our current times. The next ascension, you either were Orion or Pleiades. So this 88 gate. And this is Aquarius, and this is where we got stuck for a while. And this is where Lilith is, and all that mess. This is why Jupiter eats its children. That whole thing with Jupiter eating its children, it was eating these two so that it could control this. This is also, well, I mean, Orion, this is Gemini. See, Virgo is the energy field that manages, from Earth's perspective, all the grid structure for Sophia, in which you'd consider star seed body, and like Virgo, the woman that's going to walk out, that's holding the wheat. That's Orion and Pleiades on this side of Jupiter, coming from the sun. All this stuff's going to be dealing with your body, your psyche, your shadow, your identity. And then, are you in the program in Gemini? Are you still under mind control? Because if you got Orion, you're still under mind control. Microsoft's airing it for you right now. It's also the O blood race. Then you've got all the star seeds that went into the Pleiades. So you were either in an under, like this Orion takes on many different forms. Bellatrix, but still you're kind of held captive. It's like the haves and the have-nots. The Pleiadians would be considered the haves. They at least get to be seen. But they're in space. They're dealing with space stuff. Orion energies are going to be dealing with animalistic human DNA blood stuff. Pleiadians are going to have no blood necessarily. They're just channeling pure divine cosmic energy. And you see what I'm saying? That's the two different, and that's what creates a neuron in the Virgo, right? And even the word right. This had something to do with Reich, the left Reich. That's why they even called it that. Like this right here. Then you have Jupiter. Now, what Jupiter does is it takes all of that, and this is where the pineal is, and it takes all these different energetics. So I don't know, are you dominantly vibing in an Orion or a Pleiades? Are you predominantly vibing in Sirian or Neptune energy? Are you predominantly vibing in Regulus Arcturus energy? I don't know. What are you vibing at? And Jupiter basically is a big old Rubik's Cube orb that then all those energies go up in like a disco ball, and then blares it and like creates a little avatar sim world for all these different energetic energy in the human form for humans to play out and project down here in the simulation. So for Orion, you either went to Betelgeuse. Well, this is at the very end of Gemini. This is what blew up because there was too many. This is the very first Neanderthal program. Or you went to Andromeda to live in a lab setting, live in a future setting. You don't have any genitalia. You don't really have sex anymore because your body, and then there's 3 Yodas there that are holding seeds. It's Andromeda, Andromeda's holding a galactic port. It's like Andromeda's become a lot of things because we were merging all of this together. But this is big civilization counts and separation, because this is going to be going at the same time energetically. Andromeda also is connected into Gemini. And see, that's nuts. I just realized that. It's a mind fuck. This is where the Irish people end up in Australia, and because if they're controlling the egg and tuning, it's like they were putting the highest energy beings at the lowest energetic, because they were using us like jet propulsion to lift them up, like literally. This is still what we're uncoiling from right now with Jupiter and Bellatrix. It's like this part right here is getting redone right now for the human race because all this shit blew up. And Bellatrix, and this is Scorpio down here, Bellatrix, which is where Jupiter is right now, it just went retrograde in this energy. And this is the barter system, this is the current, this is the matrix energies, and this is how we're built all into it so much. But look, it's the same energy as Chiron because it's what it is. The only reason we have Chiron is because the entire human race was taken over in the 70s. It played out in the 80s. Chiron appeared in 75. It was made in 73. It's all the consciousness of whenever the whole thing lights out and everybody went it. It's the rest of the plan. That's what Chiron is. Look what's over here. Now look where we're heading. Now here's Sagittarius. Now look, this is where consciousness is. Because this is why it took so long for us to form consciousness. But realize consciousness is just all of us as humans existing in these different energy patterns, staying connected in ways back to roots that we had no idea. All on a sun setting that we didn't realize there's more than 50 of. Rewind that last part. Because realize this sun setting, there's over 50, and that's why I was about to pull out that. Hold on, real quick. I have a, because this is what as sun children and all of us who are really connected into the divine feminine and the cosmic birthing cycle of all of this back in from ancient days. This is why it was all laid. This is why we had the tombs. This is why we had the pyramids. This is why we did everything that we did throughout time was so we could connect and finish this off right now in January 6, 2019. This is when the Tesla codes came in to be able to do it. Lo and behold, a couple of years later, what were we dealing with at the White House? This is the M setting chart. This is the M suns. All of these are M suns. All of these are a sun. The sun, the Arcturus sun, this one, the one that was ended up being made from here, which is the one that's hooking in. Basically, this Arcturus sun holds a bunch of Jupiter settings that depend on where the sun links in. Are y'all following me? And this is what made Masons. This is what made the dark side. This is what made Libra. Libra has always been balancing out this one little crescent moon slit right here where they had two solars lined up. This is how we ended up having a parallel universe and all this shit that we don't know how the hell. Like, we just go, what the fuck was that? Now, mind you, we have the Akashic Library of every esoteric and freaking and technical and avatar. Like, we don't even know. Barbadolians and Metatrolls. That's what I came up with. Barbadolians and Metatrolls. This is why. Like, realize there's a whole set of beings that's made up from the natural currents right here, and it's attached into the human race, and there's a setting for it. Well, the way that they had it it was more like it was mirroring to us, but then it was being controlled from M12, M13, but it's set on M50. So then you've got a collective that's set on M50, but it's being run by M13, and then they're writing and doing their weird ass shit to connect this to this. Like, it's fucking nuts. It's nuts how they's doing it, y'all. But this is what's happening, because now realize that we've completed this. Now, see, I'm talking about all that before I can even go past here, because this would be like the wheel in the Milky Way. Thing is being, there's your Y chromosome. Here's where frequency comes in. Here's your hippocampus. Here's your pituitary gland. Here's your third eye. Here's Capricorn. Here's Sagittarius. There's Gabriel. Way out there. Like millions of light years out. And this is why it took, this is why, for those of us who really understand what we were here for, and we were like, I got the assignment, did you get the assignment? I understood the assignment, did you understand the assignment? Because for all of us, like, these are the ones who were attacking us, but what's so crazy is that for all of us, they're the ones who engineered us to come back in here and save their ass. So why are you attacking me, man? What's your problem, dude? It's crazy. Because realize that the Ophiuchus codes is what they were running. They were running the Ophiuchus codes in order to control this. This is why the White House got taken over on January 6th. You saw it play out. There was a battle for control right there on the White House lawn. A man, even in fucking horns on his head, dressed in all fur. I really want to know, what M-Sun did you port in from? When I was in New Orleans and I had to go toe to toe with that guy that had a goat leg. He had a goat leg. Part of this was I had to walk side by side on Bourbon Street, and it was a bunch of shit that led up to it. And this was last August when we were undoing this, and I knew that I was walking a seam of time, and literally in that mirror on the other side was a man with a fucking goat leg. And that weird ass goat shit. Like, it had all manifested. What fucking sun were you coming from, man? Well, what determines it is the frequency of the human race. What determines it is the frequency of the human race. Now it does. So we had to this is what we activated the M35 sun, which was in the core. This is why this is Perseus right here. Like, this is why this is a full solar ascension. Like, you're either going to stay trapped in this planetary getup to where in a million years, it's always going to start from here. But then the person who's doing my job in a million years is going to have to download this, remember all this, understand all of this, and then what was created by us on the outside of this. Because as a human race and evolution, then this is where this is gonna even start expanding more and more now. Because this came in my world January 6, 2019. This came in, then coHUE32, then the star things, then then the colors, then the numbers. Like, this is how you run the world. I may be negative line. The knowledge came to me. The presidents were what they're fighting over right now. I don't even think they know anymore. It's what happens whenever you abuse consciousness. You completely lose it. I've been screaming it since but what it allowed us to do was break us all out. This stuff works, y'all. Like, the blankets and all that. Now, anyway, because what we're doing is tuning the energy with the physics. This is what sigils are about. Did you know? Because realize, like, each one of these orbs, if you're carrying this energy, you can basically think of it like an onion peel around you. If you have Ophiuchus energy, then you not only have a sigil on your bubble. So you can think of each auric field, you have a sigil on your bubble, whether you realize it or not. This is even what curses and stuff is, like, that's dealing with way back here. Like, if you had a seal on your foot, or like, it can even end up being on a body that you got to break. But That's because it's been in your aura and in the line so long, then it's imprinted in your body in some way. But I'm talking about just even etherically. You've got a bubble that's holding a charge to these different ones, depending on which ones you have in your energy. And you have to go look at your draconic too, because your draconic is going to show you how you evolved. Like if you came in and you've got a shit ton of Arcturus energy in your natal, then your draconic is going to show you probably like Vega or Lyra, or it's going to be way back here, because in this natal you made it to the middle to hold it all. You see what I'm saying? Like that's when I'm looking at that's what coHUE32, and this is what it's telling you, because it's different we're telling you the energy that your bubble is getting introduced with, and then we're telling you what we've seen, how the human reacts to that energy as a collective and in bloodlines. Your thing is to blend it all together and produce something new. Well, you're really just what you're doing is getting out of the water. You're pulling you got to get your head out first. You got to breathe. It takes a minute to be able to pull yourself, the rest out of this whole thing moving around, because your energies are made up of it. It's moving inside of you. All of this is inside of you. At the point we're at now, to the where we're even it's being reset. So this is why even I talk about the next 2 to 3 years, it won't always be right now. The next 2 to 3 years, and what you're learning over here and how it changes everything is what everybody fought and died and killed each other to figure out. But you can't control it anymore if you're not in pure energy. You literally can't do it the way it's now energetically devised to do it if you're in a low frequency. This is why they had sacrifices. They were getting away with sacrificing pure ones to hold this field so they could do dirty shit. Well, that's what blew the system. They put the wrong ones in the suit. The whole thing went back to one. This is how we've been able to outsmart them the whole time. January 6, 2019, whenever this came out in these pieces, in my field, it was reset back to one. Not all these pieces. Or else I wouldn't have been able to see this. But that's the whole universal brain working together in space that got us to right here. Not the Republic. The deal was out here with these two guys, and that's why this is called what it is. And this is also a Greek spell, and this is skull and bones and shit like that is what ended up even creating Zeta Reticuli. Zeta Reticuli as a race is just like consciousness blobs. That's why they at least appear to have little weird bodies. You know why? Because they were messing with the human race's bodies. So they somewhat have a body, but it's all freaking weird looking. Or then they developed it, and that's when Eisenhower comes in all this, and this is where we start dealing with the truth that the beings that were in Roswell and the plasma beings. I mean, I believe you're talking to one right now. But realize that, like, that don't mean that I'm an alien. That means that I so connected back into this. From a DNA perspective in a line, that then the AB negative was even made into. Like this is like that we were just getting our energy back into the orb. Out in space, our bodies were being held down and somebody else had them. How do you want us to appear? Everybody in this timeline's thinking that angels are going to come down and we're going to have wings. I want to see you get 100-foot wings through a laser show. Because it's what it is. technology and video games and programming and the keyboard. Bill Gates, Will I am, because Bill is not his name, Will I am Gates went to the past and brought a keyboard in. He didn't go to the future. The keyboard is the problem. The way the keyboard's laid out. Why is it laid out the way it is? Why is A next to S? And why is that? Then they train what? All the women learn. Well, that's mind programming. That's mind mapping. Now the keyboard is in your phone. Okay, now are you on an Android phone? Or are you on an iPhone? Or are you on a Samsung? Or are you on a Google? Because each one of those holds a different mind map program. See, we're past that point. We're to all those mind maps are come together as one now, because we're Spica. We're the energy running through it with Spica. So this has been, I'm going to close with, right before I started this, okay? And I haven't talked about that in a long time, and for a long time that came in 2000, well, it was 2019, January 6th. These are the energies that flew out. We've got, I pulled Spica, Vega. So, and this is the 22 star race energies that then created a new bloodline. It's like galactic DNA, but realize that it's also the mind patterns that just are going to expand your field out that far and connect in with those other fields. So Vega, which we talked about a lot over here, there it is. Orion Bellatrix flew out, which we've talked about a ton. And that's where Jupiter just went retrograde. It's going to go all the way back to Aldebaran. Arcturus came out, yellow, pink. It's mostly yellow with our bright. This is the first place pink is coming in. I know me and Dawn both have been seeing spotches of pink. Like if you just, all of a sudden, it's like a filter of pink comes over the sky, comes over your eye. You're seeing like little weird pink orbs. That's because the sun is in this energy. You're in yellow. You're looking for pink. But this is the first time in the wheel that hot pink shows up. It's the first time in the wheel that hot pink shows up. And it's coming in from Sagittarius into Libra. And then we had Sirius A, which is baby pink and white. This is in Cancer. This is all to do with your heart and the energetic. And then Algorab balance came out. So this is Libra, Cancer, the heart. So balancing the heart. But that really is what Arcturian energy is. It's you have to pull everything to your heart, through your heart, for compassion. In the higher dimensional templates, you have, like, we shouldn't just have a left heart. You have a left and a right heart. That's what creates blue blood. Then in the highest template, your heart is actually higher in your chest. It's closer to your throat, so that the frequency of your heart comes out your throat more. As you're coming out of the matrix, you have to shut off your mind, because your mind is what's being controlled to override your heart. Whenever you allow your mind and process through what your heart is feeling, and then you only speak from the heart, not the mind, then it's a different energy of codes that come out of your mouth and change everything. It changes your field. It changes what it's the impact of what you say. It's the multidimensional information that you can send to different groups with the same message. But it's aligning the heart, not the mind. Everything in your mind's going to tell you in the beginning not to align with the heart. All right, guys, I'm gonna blow out of here. Thank y'all so much for ordering charts. If you want to get your digi charts from the website, I believe it's working. we're still processing through issues. House of coHUE stuff, I've got 4 more houses to go. There's only 3 up on the website, but the only reason I'm telling you this is because the House of coHUE stuff works. If you want to learn more about Scorpio 1, Scorpio 2, Virgo, or Libra energy, go to coHUE32. And this is even if you don't want to buy anything right now. These are the only ones that we have up right now. So if you really, really are like, I need more information, because we're trying our best to get it out as quickly as possible. But we are also doing some digi charts for you guys, and then getting House of coHUE up. And there's going to be a lot of changes going on over here to hold everything we're putting in. So if you go to shop now, shoot, I've got to turn this because there are some little things with our website. We're not, it's me, we're 2 people over here. Okay, shop, see this little arrow? Click on that. Now see House of coHUE? See that little arrow? Click on that. And then as we add these, you'll be able to go in and see them. And every single house is different. All the knowledge that I have in physics and how the energies run through the wheel in order to complete the wheel, I don't care if you have the energy or not. I want you to go to these and go read them. Go read them, especially Scorpio, because this is a process, and so I started getting better. I started getting more precise about what the object is going to do when you get it, okay? But go read, because this is Scorpio 2. This is where Venus is right now, and this is the wave runner. That's what that energy is. There it is. There's the physics of it. If you and even if you're like, hey, I like that, just take a picture, put it on your phone. If you've got a printer, print out put the energy in your house, see what it does. This one is pick up, create, or keep a vibration going in your energy field. So literally this is gonna, like, if wherever it is in your house, it's gonna keep like a fan on. Whatever idea or creation you are creating, keep the subcurrents moving. So it's gonna be moving those subcurrents, right? It's also, if you're a hottie in the sack, this would turn up the game some, but it doesn't have to be sexual energy. But it's going to be subconscious energy. So anyway. Go read about them, because see, this is White Scorpio. It's totally different. The one blanket that didn't upload yet, I know, is going to create babies. If you're trying to have a baby, you have not been able to have a baby, you're doing IVF, you've done all these different things, telegram me. Right now, we've got it. It's blue, and it's baby blue and white, and the physics that are on it create life. Also, this is a good one if you've got a lot of plants. If you've got a lot of plants in a green room, this would be good. This is a good one to put there. The baby blue and white is like magic, but I do have a baby making blanket. It did not upload because, like I said, we're having some issues. These are the White Scorpio ones, though. These are gonna create in your energy. It's gonna create things with your energetics. They tune your orbs. Now you follow me, because I'm telling you how, because they work. We're getting reports The house of the Virgo Velveteen basically wraps you in like a Sophia body. And the two ladies that have gotten it have two similar experiences, but different. It basically puts you in like an angelic orb. One of them, as soon as the first night she slept under it, she felt nauseous and didn't feel real good. By the third day, which is what I say, give it 3 days. By the third day, now she sleeps, she loves it. She's literally like the blankets now become like, has a consciousness to her. Like she sleeps so peaceful. There's nothing in her dreams that's but like it lifts her up energetically. And it's and the other lady who was our first customer ever, she's having similar experiences, but it's opening up her dreams more. She's getting more, when she's dreaming, it's elevating the infrastructure, because that's what this Virgo energy and these colors do, because it's holding it from this stuff way out. Are you following me? So this, they work. So don't, as we start adding the houses, like don't get all spun off. And that's why a lot of them don't have, some of them do have sigils on it that are Virgo, but a lot of it doesn't. Okay. That's why we did that on purpose. No matter if you've got Virgo, if you don't have Virgo in your chart, you might need the Virgo blanket in your life. Or just get a pillow that has those energetics. It doesn't, or just grab the necklace is the cheapest way. Like, just get that energy, because that's going to help, like, give you a crutch as you rebuild that natural for yourself. Okay. So it's like, as we start adding houses, and as you're looking at all the different energies that we've assimilated, don't pay attention to, if you don't have Scorpio, if you think that you don't have Scorpio, but you love Scorpio, no, there's a reason that you're looking at that energy. If you go to the website and you really love one of those energies, then I want you to go do some investigating with what you have on coHUE32, or go through some of my videos and see if you can find some of those names, or hit me up or whatever. But realize that the reason that it's calling out to you is because energetically, it's a piece that you need to assimilate, because the whole thing, you got to get through the whole thing. You got to get your creations through the whole thing. You got to get your body through the whole thing. You got to connect on the other side. I mean, it's a 7-year process to get everything out of the wheel. We're still getting the human race out of the wheel. All right. Give me a thumbs up. I love you guys. Please share this with your astrologer friends, this video. Anybody who's doing astrology or healing modalities, or is using astrology, the tarot cards, anybody who's doing, please send them this video, because this is a lot of how you need to see it, just to start remembering how this thing was organized as we're all mixed in it, coming in and out at different layers. I love y'all. This has been Chastia, coHUE32.com with the House of Coachie.